What's going on, everybody? Good morning, good evening, wherever you are, and whatever time it is. And welcome back to yet another video with your man, Immersioholic. And ladies and gentlemen, it is time to get on the hype train. The Divide Et Impera team has just finally released the 1.2.8 patch beta for their mod. It's amazing, and it is just a beta though, so do keep that in mind. You might not want to switch over and upgrade to it too quickly, as it is incompatible with some ones, and it won't be compatible for some time until it's fully released. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, we have a massive amount of awesome changes coming in. One of my biggest highlights is, of course, the overhaul of the Greek colonies. We have heaps more units being added to the game, and overall we're getting a bunch of features that are adding more complexity and depth, and dare I say, immersion to the mod. And you all know how I feel about immersion. I will, of course, leave a link down below to the changelog so you can go and read the changes yourself if you wish to, and you can also download and install the beta right now and check it out. But anyway, let's jump into the best features that have been added in this new update. So, of course, like I said, one of the biggest changes is the overhaul of the Greek colonies. This covers Massalia, Colchis, and Bosporus. All of these three colonial Greek states are living on the fringes of the Greek world, and so this update reflects that perfectly in my opinion. All three factions now receive 2 new barrack buildings as opposed to having just one before. Now they don't have any just generic kind of barrack building. Instead, they have to choose. You have to choose either to go with the Hellenic side of things, where you want to focus on staying as pure Hellenic Greek soldiers and armies and basically a Greek society, or do you want to start mingling and becoming part of the local customs and local culture, no matter what it is? For example, the Massalians are surrounded by the Celts, whereas the Bosporan kingdom is surrounded by Scythian nomads. So you'll have that difference in aesthetic and the actual cultures themselves, depending on where you are, geographically speaking. So if you go with the Hellenic barrack building chain, you'll of course be given access to a bunch of Hellenic units. These will increase or decrease certain effects depending on what choices you make. For example, the Hellenic military outposts for Massalia will actually increase banditry, and it will also give you diplomatic repercussions against Celtic factions near you. They won't like that you're basically trying to colonize the area with more foreign Greek influence, at least from their point of view. However, if you do it the other way, you go with the Gallic or Celtic style settlements, you'll actually get bonuses to your banditry. It will decrease. You'll also have public order issues decrease due to foreign cultures, so that will help you out to maintain your hold over the land. However, it will also increase the Celtic or nomadic or whatever influence that is in the local area increase. So in the long term, you may see yourself having some severe cultural issues due to having to make this massive choice. Do you want to try and stay pure Greek bred, or do you want to try and adopt the local customs? There are some ups and downs to both sides, and it is not a clear-cut decision. And of course, the biggest consequence of choosing which direction to go is what type of units you'll have available for your army. So you need to think long and hard about what you want to do. And of course, you can go both ways, but you will still have to suffer through the various penalties, but you'll also get the bonuses of each as well. Now, also, population has been changed to where it is actually affected by technology research. The management category for military technology now has several different technologies that you can research that actually increase and give you bonuses to your population overall. Mainly, this is focused on the second social class that you have in your population, although towards the end, once you really dedicate some serious time to research, you will get benefits to your first elite tier class of population. It's not massive changes, but it is enough to consider your options a little bit more thoroughly. Do you really want to just go and mindlessly research some basic stuff in the civic tree, or are you struggling on population and do you need all the help you can get? I'm looking at you, Sparta. Everyone knows that Sparta has the worst population issues to deal with. Good luck with that. Hopefully this new technology change will help you out massively there. And now we also need to talk about the Squalor changes. In the last patch, Squalor was a massive issue. Once you hit the level 3 and level 4 building chains of cities and towns, you basically had no Squalor, and then all of a sudden you were drowning in it, and this caused massive issues with pandemics happening, or you just being basically not prepared to have to go to the expense of handling all of this squalor. But now things have changed to where it's a slow and gradual increase instead. You will get squalor very early on, but it's only a small amount and it increases slowly over time per each single level. Now it does get to be fairly large still, but it's still ultimately less squalor that you have to deal with than compared to before. And so as such, you will have enough time and hopefully forethought to actually handle it before it becomes a big issue for you. So that is another intricate detail where we'll have to really manage our cities and settlements properly, because it does affect village settlements as well. It's not just a large city thing. You really will need to think about what kind of buildings you're going to build and what kind of development you want that province to have. It really does matter now. Whereas before, it felt like you couldn't really even use level 3 and 4, but now you can. You just need to be prepared for it, and you have that opportunity to be prepared. Now, also, we have some massive changes to area of recruitment units. Some units are now locked away behind the immigration building chains, or the yellow building chains. For example, you have the Scythian warriors here for Archbosporus. They're available to Archbosporus, but only if they recruit them from this nomadic immigrant building chain. We also have the Scythian heavy archers, which look like a fantastic unit. They look really, really powerful. However, the only way to get them is to build this building chain. And this building chain usually isn't really all that good to build, because it increases the culture of whatever immigrant cultural group that is coming to the area. For example, in Archbosporus, it will be the nomadic culture that is spreading there. So you'll have some cultural imbalances if you're not careful. The same thing applies with other AOR units as well. It's not just the Greek colony factions. The Seleucids now only have the Syrian elephants and Syrian archers, some of the best AOR units in the game, available from Antioch itself. Now, it is available from the main city building chain, but it is not available in any of the smaller village building chains. So you have to actually own Antioch itself in order to get access to those awesome AOR units that are so prized amongst Seleucid or just any kind of Levant area playing person. Additionally, though, you can also focus on building an immigrant building chain there. That will also give you access to the elephants and the archers, but that also comes with its pros and cons. So you need to weigh up, do you want to upgrade the city, or do you want to do an immigrant building chain? But again, it only applies in the city of Antioch. So basically, AOR units across the board have been adjusted to be more difficult to gain, but not necessarily in a gamey kind of way. You just need to make more investment before you can get access to these very high tier and prized units. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the major features I'm going to cover for now. There is a bunch of new units added to the game. For example, some of the AI controlled factions have 90 units added to their rosters, so that's going to be awesome to see. We also have a bunch of combat changes, performance enhancements for battles, which is awesome and very much needed. We even have overhauls of British units, not just their units visually, but they're also receiving new units, and in particular, you'll also see new officers and standard bearers for them. We'll also see some resource changes, basically the positioning of certain resources. But Amber has also been overhauled to come from main city buildings rather than just a resource from the region effect on its own. That's to negate that bug that was happening before when I covered the 1.28 update a while ago. Some of you guys may remember. Then we also have new things like the new victory conditions to help you guys that do chase that. I'm not one of those people, but I might be now. It depends on how interesting the victory conditions are, to be honest. There's just heaps of major changes throughout this entire update. They're all incredibly impressive. There isn't a single change I disagree with or am not happy to see, to be honest. Not that it's my position to judge anyway, but I'm just saying I'm hyped across the board for this. There is dozens upon dozens, if not hundreds of changes being thrown in here, and that's just the stuff that we've seen being listed. Who knows what else has not been listed. But overall, the main thing that's exciting about this update is that it gives us more depth and immersion to the campaign. The colony factions now are starting to really feel like colony factions. Your city management is now becoming more manageable, but you also need to plan ahead and you need to be aware of what's going to come. The AOR units, while they're powerful and they can really easily win you an entire campaign, just look at my Parthian campaign where I abused the hell out of having Syrian elephants. Now you have to actually earn the AOR units. You can't just waltz into the area and get them willy-nilly. You have to invest time into the area and actually recruit them. And this is just some of the major changes that are coming from this update, though. There's a bunch more. I highly recommend you do go through the patch notes. I will be going through the 3 colonial factions that have been overhauled in this update with complete faction overviews. I do a faction overview series where I cover every single faction in Divide Et Impera. We're getting towards the end of that series now, though, although thankfully now I can jump in and get these awesome factions out of the way. And hopefully you guys will enjoy seeing them. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on seeing that, where I'll go into specific detail about what these factions have to deal with now that they've been overhauled. Especially their new units. We're going to be going through every single unit that they have and talking about them all in detail. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you throw the DEI team some massive support in any way you can, whether it's monetarily, you can donate through their website. They have links up there available. I'll link their website down below, by the way. You can join their Discord or check them out on the Total War Center. All of those different links and whatnot are very helpful for you to get involved, but also for the modders to actually receive accurate and helpful feedback. Plus, just general support. They're all great people, very down to earth and very much approachable. So if you have any questions or you're confused about why something was chosen, or you have some input, perhaps you have an idea that you haven't seen implemented yet, go ahead, check out the DEI team on their socials. I'll be linking them down below. Show them some love. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I can't wait to jump into this brand new update. I hope you're all as excited as I am. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I shall see you in the next one.